Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Wealthy Queen 17, the Wellness Summit for women looking to learn more about holistic wellness. Today, I am going to talk a little bit with Miss Dorothy Whitfield about emotional health. And since you are taking this time out of your day, I definitely don't want it to be wasted. So go ahead and grab you a pen and some paper because I know she's going to drop us some knowledge that we're definitely probably going to need. So, again, welcome to Wealthy Queen 17, the summit. I want you to go over to your email or over to Facebook. If you haven't already joined the group, we are going to be following the conversation there. So if you are going to Facebook, the group is for the Queens, Women on Wellness. And if you are going over to your email, there's just a link for you to go ahead over to the group. So we are going to be giving you some information today. Of course, we recommend that you consult with your doctor before making any lifestyle changes. If you are not familiar with me, I am Danny Taylor, a transformational wellness coach, founder of DannyDTaylor.com, and I motivate and educate women in nutrition, fitness, and stress management techniques to live a healthier and happier life on purpose. And today, as I have already mentioned, Ms. Dorothy Whitfield is with us to discuss emotional health and wellness. She is a speaker, author, and self love and relationship coach. She helps women overcome their blocks that keeps them from discovering their true identity and embracing their authentic self. Working one on one with clients as their self love and relationship mentor is among the best ways that clients welcome results that can celebrate, they can celebrate. So Dorothy is someone who inspires women to love themselves, recognize their worth, and have the life they desire, the love life they desire. So Ms. Dorothy, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for asking. Just hopping right on into the interview, I want to ask you, what do you consider emotional health and self-love to be?
Um, Self-love is a part of emotional health. So emotional health is when you can, it doesn't mean that you don't get frustrated, you don't get upset, you don't get angry. It doesn't mean any of those things. When I consider emotional health is that you can recognize what is going on and you can bring it back. So you don't stay in that anger, you don't stay in that fear, you don't stay in that frustration. You're able to recognize, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. And you're able to easily transition yourself out of it and recognizing what works for you to move from those feelings of powerlessness and frustration and anger and move into feeling powerful, feeling calm, feeling peaceful. So that's what I consider emotional health. And self-love is all about how you take care of yourself. It is emotional, physical, mental, it's spiritual. Like what I focus on is holistic love. So it's just not that intimate love, your relationship love. It's like everything. What is going on in every area of your life? Because some people can look like they love themselves on the outside, like they look like really pretty. They have a like nice pretty package. You know how you have a present and it's real pretty on the inside, on the outside, it has like gold and like a pretty bow on it. But on the inside, it's all messed up. Like if somebody wrapped up some trash. And so a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of us are walking around in pretty packages with trash on the inside because, we're not dealing with what's going on with us. Like we try to cover it up because we don't want to deal with it. Because sometimes it's a lot of stuff. And a lot of times when you are trying to get emotionally healthy, sometimes it can feel like it gets worse before it gets better. And it's like peeling back that onion. And a lot of us don't want to peel back that onion because we don't want to cry. We're not trying to go into all that and you know, get rid of all these like crazy feelings and these crazy thoughts. Sometimes for some people, it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay pretty on the outside and stuff all the other stuff back down because I don't want to deal with that. And we just end up being numb to it because we're used to not dealing with our feelings. So emotional health is recognizing those feelings, embracing those feelings if you need to, and saying, okay, how can I shift from this feeling to a healthy feeling?
Yes. Miss Dorothy, just while we're talking, I want to say this to the queens that are watching this video. Miss Dorothy is going to give us some information. So I want you to follow in the group with the hashtag Dorothy or hashtag Wealthy Queen 17. I want you to follow because she's already said some stuff that I know some of us need to hear. So the next question for you, Miss Dorothy, is how can we support someone in emotional breakdown?
The healthier you get, the more you can support somebody else. And a lot of times we're looking to heal other people, but we're a mess. And that's the reason why we keep attracting people that are not emotionally healthy, because we're trying to heal everybody else, we're trying to save everybody else. But that's only because we need saving. But instead of dealing with our own stuff, it's a lot easier to I'm gonna take care of you. Sometimes we can see other people's problems better than we can see our own. Sometimes we can see where other people need help better than where we can see, we need help or we need healing. So the first thing I would say is see why you even attracted that type of person into your life. And are you involved in that emotional health issue? Because is that conflict coming from you? Is it coming from the energy that you're giving off? Are you the reason why they have an emotional breakdown? You might want to investigate that, because sometimes we get into these relationships and it's like this back and forth. Like we're you get so used to eating unhealthy food that it tastes good, but you don't realize it tastes nasty until you eat some healthy food. So that's how relationships are. So you want to first see what's going on with you before you can help somebody else. Now, if the person is not so close, but you are the person that they come to, like you're their comfort, you're their mentor, you're their friend that they talk to, and they're having an emotional issue, emotional challenges, an emotional breakdown. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is listen and allow them to talk, allow them to express themselves. Now, if it's a situation where they are constantly coming to you and it's constantly something, well, that's a good sign that they are not taking responsibility for their actions and they're not taking responsibility for their emotions. So, as a friend, and we always speak the truth in love, and understanding how a person receives the truth, because you don't just speak the truth in love to just anybody. You have to have a relationship, so you have to understand the relationship you have with that person before you just start telling people stuff, and you just give it to them straight. And sometimes they receive it, sometimes they don't. There have been situations where I shared something with somebody and they didn't like it, and they actually stopped talking to me for an extended period of time. But sometimes that's good for you, and sometimes that is actually good for them, because a lot of times we can block somebody from receiving the healing that they need to receive because we are their crutch and they're leaning on us so much that they are not able to see how to help themselves. And that's what we need to be able to do, because a lot of stuff happens when we are alone. Yes, we need each other's support, but also, we have to go to bed by ourselves. We were born by ourselves. Even if you were a twin, you were born by yourself. So we were born by ourselves. We're going to die by ourselves. There are times where you're going to be alone, and sometimes everybody can't always answer the phone. So we have to be supportive in a healthy way, but not in a crutch. You have to always depend on me type of way. And for us to be able to do that, that starts with our perception of ourselves and realizing actually how much control we have over our attitude, but how much control we don't have over other people, and just allow them to go through their process. Um, Sometimes people have to hit rock bottom, and you got to be okay with that, because a lot of times if people don't hit that rock bottom, they won't make the changes that they need to make. And when we keep rescuing people and not allowing them to hit that rock bottom, to hit that wall, then they can't truly change because it doesn't hurt bad enough for them. So we need that pain. There are so many beautiful things about pain, and that cause a transformation and a growth, that if you took away that pain, a lot of people would not change. I know I wouldn't have. I've gone through a lot of painful times in my life, but because of that pain, because of being broken, because of hitting that rock bottom, I was able to have this light bulb, this epiphany, this awakening to be like, you know what, this life that I have right now is not working. So what do I need to do that will work for me? So if you have somebody that is having an emotional breakdown, first thing you need to do is figure out what part you are playing in that relationship, and if you're being a crutch, and where you are in your own emotions. Because the more we heal, then the more we can help others and support others in healthy ways, um, to help them heal.
Those are some awesome golden nuggets, Miss Dorothy. If y'all didn't catch it, I'm gonna go back for it just one more time. She said, check yourself first. So if you're out here checking other people and you haven't quite looked in the mirror yet, you are out of order. Okay. So back into the questions, Miss Dorothy. What is some insight that you could give us on how ignoring emotional breakdown affects us and possibly those around us?
Well, it depends on what stage you are in ignoring your emotions. So if you have constantly done it over and over again, then it's one of those things where, you know how an egg can be hard on the outside but really soft on the inside, and so you're just letting everything build up and build up and build up, so that's why you end up cracking and you end up breaking. And I did it several times. Like, I grew up with, I'm not supposed to cry. So for so long, having that feeling of, I have to be tough, I have to be strong, I can't cry. And, I had a moment, more than once, but I had a time where I was in my boss's office. This is when I worked in corporate years ago. I was in my boss's office and everything built up and I just started crying. And my boss, I don't think he knew how to deal with it. I think he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so he took me into one of the female managers' office and was just like, "All right, help her." But it's like when you have situations like that, you explode. I used to have a lot of challenges with anger because so many things had taken place in my life. I had been raped. I was constantly in bad relationships. My parents got divorced when I was younger. I didn't have a great relationship with my parents. So it's like stacking, 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 stacking. And these things are constantly stacking. And at some point in time, you are going to explode. Like, everything is going to fall apart. It's like building a house with a shaky foundation, just throwing a bunch of junk, throwing a bunch of trash, and like, okay, this is going to be my foundation. And then you're trying to build this life on all of this trash, on all of this anger, on all of this sadness, on all of this depression, and you're holding it down. So you're building a house, and the house is like, okay, we're going to just push this down. I don't want to cry. We're going to just push this down. And then one day you just like, it explodes and it explodes, and then you push it down and it explodes. And especially, if you're married or you're in a relationship, oh, those, it takes a special person to be married to somebody that has dealt with a lot of things. It takes a really patient person, because being in a relationship with somebody, regardless of the level of anger, is just so unhealthy. And if you are blessed to be in a relationship with somebody, if you're dealing with anger or whatever it is, rape causes post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm also a rape and sexual assault survivor advocate, and I've been in a situation, so I understand the steps to healing. And there are a lot of things that are triggered in relationships that you may not have even known were there, because this person is so close to you. And there is something about, especially in marriage, where we will treat that person, how we treat ourselves sometimes. So if we treat ourselves in not so healthy ways, after a certain amount of time, the buildup after the honeymoon period is over, we can start treating them in unhealthy ways because of how we feel about each other. I mean, because of how you feel about yourself. And so if you want to start dealing with your emotions and not push them down, not ignore them, it's just recognize that you have these emotions and feel your feelings. Like, seriously, like, it takes work, especially if you have pushed them down so many times, especially if you're not used to crying. Like, I used to hate crying, because after I cried, I would have this headache. I wouldn't want to cry. It would just be like all this. Yeah, it was just not good. I didn't enjoy it. But it's like now, it's so funny. Now it's easier for me to cry. Now I'm more sensitive. Now I'm embracing my feelings, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna cry. There was a period of time I was just crying about everything. Like, oh, that's so sweet, crying. Oh, something happened in the movie, crying. So it's just, sometimes you need to do something to make you cry. Like, sometimes you need to get the cry out. And depending on your belief system, depends on how that will work. So for me, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So I would ask God, reveal to me what needs work, reveal to me where I need to be healed, and it can work. I am a living testimony that it does work, and just asking. So if there's somebody that's not a believer in Jesus Christ, then just say the words, ask the question, where do I need healing? And what area of my life do I need emotional healing? Um, there's this great exercise. Okay, so I'm absolutely like lifelong learner. I love learning. I love watching videos. I love learning from other people. So I recently watched this video from Jonathan Wilton, and he was talking about purity in his struggle with pornography. But the technique that he shared can be used in every area of your life, even just you dealing with your emotions. And so what he said is, he made a list of all the lies. So if you're dealing with, I'm not good enough, and that's an emotional thing. You feel like you're not good enough. Well, you're here. You're good enough. You deserve to be here because you're here. If you didn't deserve to be here, then you wouldn't be here. So he says he made a list of all the lies that he was believing. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, nobody loves me, write that down. If you're feeling like, if you have your business, you're like, I'm not good enough to get clients. All my clients suck. If you're feeling like, if you're single and you're like, I'm never going to get married, or if you're like, there are no good men in the world, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling, write them all down. The feelings that that are like super crazy. Um, and it's just like, okay, if you were in your best self, you would not be thinking this. So whatever those feelings are, write them down. And then after you write all that list down, you say, okay, now what is the truth? So if the feeling is nobody loves me, then I'm sure there is somewhere in your life that you can find somebody that loves you, like healthy. A lot of times love has been twisted. And so, people say the word love, but sometimes they use the word love to get what they want. And we have to understand what is truly love and what is not love. So you have nobody loves me. Well, you ask yourself, who loves me? Somebody is going to come to mind. If you are a believer in Jesus Christ, if you're a believer in God, whatever it is you believe, then somebody loves you. You know what? If you need to use me, if you need to write down Dorothy Whitfield loves me, because I do, and I think you are awesome, I think you are amazing, then if you can't think of anybody else, then please feel free to write my name. Right? Dorothy Whitfield loves me. You can write that you love you. You got to love you. You know what? The fact that you are here, the fact that you are listening to my voice right now, the fact that you are even taking the time to do this exercise proves that you love yourself and you are just trying to like break free and get off this cycle, get off, what is that little wheel thing? The little wheel that the gerbils, they run around. Like you're trying to get off of that, but you just want help. That's loving yourself because you want to do better. And that's the reason why you're here, is because you want to be better. So write yourself down that you love yourself and go through that list and write down what the truth is. Because a lot of times, and especially, when we're younger, depending on what you grew up in, how your parents are, and we believe all types of crazy things. So write that down. Whatever's, and sometimes that anger, those emotional craziness, it's not even yours. It's somebody else's. If you have had sex, then you're taking on that energy. You are taking on what that other person has. Believe it or not, you taking on that stuff. So sometimes that craziness that you have going on is not even yours. When we're younger, we have this connection with our parents and we want to please them. So when we act a certain way, I was told don't cry. So then when we don't cry, then we're good girls. When we do this, we're good girls. And we push down our feelings, we're good girls. And so you have this behavior that you think that you have to perform. We're putting on a show, we're performing because we want people to like us. And we forget how to like and love ourselves because we're so focused on giving everybody else what they want. And so we're taking on other people's stuff. Our parents, if they got angry or if they used to yell and act like super crazy with each other or just by themselves, then we have this anger. Like, we are absorbing this stuff. This is one of the reasons why we have to be so mindful of our atmosphere, of our environment, even the music we listen to, the movies we watch, the like TV shows we watch. If you are watching certain reality TV shows, you will notice depending on your level of sensitivity, but it's seeping in there somewhere. You'll notice that you start exhibiting certain behaviors. Now, when you stop listening to certain music or stop watching certain shows, you'll notice that your behavior will change. And I'll give you an example. So, one of the things I do as part of the holistic love, self-love, and relationship coaching is I help single women get married. And I teach them a process that I went through myself. And part of that process is changing what you listen to. And it's part of a relationship fast that I did and that I teach other people how to do. And so what you do is sometimes being in that singleness for some people, I know it was a struggle for me. There's some kind of affection that you feel like you're missing and that you want. Well, when you're listening to certain music, when you're watching certain movies, they are not helping. And you know what, truth be told, some of these movies are like back in the day, they would have been rated R because some of these movies and TV shows is getting really wild. So what I did when I was single is I was like, you know what? This is not helping me. All this is wanting me, all this is causing me to do is want to do some things that I'm not trying to do. So I'm not going to listen to this music anymore. Click, turn it off. I'm not going to watch these movies, even though, you have the romantic comedies. Oh, they're so sweet. Oh, I want my happily ever after. Yeah, cut it off. If it's not helping you and you are like, oh, I want that. Why can't I have that? Oh, you might want to turn it off because that's not a helping your emotional health. And then a lot of times it gives us this fantasy, depending on the movies that you're watching, it gives us this whole fantasy and causes us to think that we should be somewhere else in life that we're not. And that's also a part of emotional health is you're putting this pressure on yourself and like I should be in this place but I'm not. I should be in this place but I'm not. I should be in this place but I'm not. And when you're telling yourself that, you're beating yourself down. Stop doing that. You are where you should be, and you can be somewhere else tomorrow if you choose to be. But every day is about making new choices. And we do the best that we can with the information that we have. And the truth is, your life could be a lot worse than it is. I mean, just think about it. You're able to receive information. I mean, you're listening to this. You're able to receive information that a lot of people may not be able to receive. And there are some things, when you listen to this, there are some things that because of where you are mentally and emotionally and spiritually, you may not even receive it. And you can listen to this a second time and you may be like, oh, you know what? I didn't realize she said that, because that has happened to me several times where I will look at a video, listen to an audio of somebody's teaching, and the first time I didn't catch that. But the second time I caught something else. The third time you catch something else. And you have to, it's all about feeding yourself. When you eat, you don't just eat a salad. You don't just eat some fruit one time and then you're like, okay, I ate this fruit one time, I'm good, I don't ever have to eat fruit again. I ate these vegetables one time, I don't ever have to eat vegetables again because I'm good for the rest of my life. And then go back to eating junk food, go back to eating trash, go back to eating a bunch of candy and all this other stuff. And I drank one water, so now I can drink soda for the rest of my life. No, you want to be emotionally healthy, you want to be spiritually healthy, you want to experience like holistic health in every area of your life, it has to be a constant every day. Feed yourself. You have to eat every day. And you know what? If for something happens, you don't eat, and when I mean eat, you don't you have some kind of trigger, you get angry, you decide that, what, I'm going to binge on this music, I'm going to binge watch some, reality TV show, I'm going to like binge watch some like super violent, crazy stuff, whatever it is. Because I've had my times where I'm like, I just want to curl up in bed and watch some stuff that I normally don't watch. But because I have constantly fed myself healthy food, I can recognize when I'm eating unhealthy food. And don't beat yourself up because we have our times. It's okay. You don't have to, eat your vegetables for like, you eat your vegetables for 30 days straight and then you eat some candy and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm no good. Like I've ruined my body. I'm just horrible. No, don't do that to yourself. It's okay. You're not the only person doing it. You're not the only person. It's okay. You are never alone. There's nothing that you can do that somebody else hasn't already done. So it's okay. All right. You make a mistake, you watch something you shouldn't have watched, you eat a bag full of candy, you eat 10 bags full of candy, whatever your candy is, you have like go on this anger like explode. Um, be mindful of that, especially our words are like arrows and they pierce people, and that includes you. So sometimes, if you got some anger stuff going on, sometimes you just need to close it, be quiet, because once those words go out, you can't put them back. It's like toothpaste. Once you squeeze that toothpaste out, it's no putting that toothpaste back in. Like, that's it. So be mindful of these words that you use and know what can help you come back into balance. Know what can help you, come back to the healthy side. So if you start feeling really down, feeling angry, feeling frustrated. Okay, so is it music that helps you? Because sometimes for me, it's putting on certain songs. Sometimes for me, it is watching something that makes me laugh. Sometimes it's journaling. So even if you just, I would do this, have a list of your stuff, like, the things that you like to do. And so you have your own list and you're like, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. So when I'm feeling this way, maybe I need to watch this video on, whatever, or learn something, or watch some kind of documentary. You know what the truth is? Sometimes reading a news story, and I wouldn't, depending on how you are, and this is about part of knowing yourself, and we're learning ourselves. Like, it's not like you've been around for 100 years. You have a lot to learn about yourself. You're still learning and growing and changing. So just like other people learn you, you're learning you, because a lot of the stuff that you do is things that you were taught by other people. So, you take on their stuff. And so sometimes we have to unlearn so we can discover who we really are. So what I would say is make a list of stuff, that makes you smile. Like, or even when I've watched documentaries or read stories about other people that are really struggling and have stuff going on, because it's always somebody, regardless of what you feel like you have been through, there are other people that have really been through some stuff. And when you see that and you're like, oh my gosh, like I have so much to be grateful for. Like my life is not so bad. Like my stuff is not so bad. My marriage is not so bad. Like my job is not so bad. And when you accept responsibility and you are grateful for what you have, because you may be complaining about what you have, but the truth is there's somebody that wants what you have and that would be happy to receive what you have. Um, a lot of times, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, is we'll have these things that we consider blessings, and then we'll start complaining about the blessings. And it's not the blessings. So when I say blessings, I mean like, our job and our kids and our spouse or whatever, like even your friends. But the fact is, it's something going on with you. It's all about your perspective. It's your eyes. So a lot of times we need to change our eyes. Because a lot of times we're walking around with our eyes closed. We see what we want to see. We think that we are like super perfect and we don't do anything. And it's just everybody in our lives that are like aggravating us. And if it's just that bad, and I don't mean walk away from your spouse or walk away from your kids, but you can choose to have a different job. So it's not emotionally healthy, because I was in a job that I really, really was just like, oh my gosh, I did not want to go to. Yeah, me and corporate did not mix. And so it was a matter of, okay, if I don't like this job this much, if I don't like this situation that much, then it's not like I have to stay here. And we have to get out of this victim mentality. And the victim mentality is somebody else did this to me and I have no other choice. And when we get into this blaming instead of accepting responsibility, we feel hopeless. And I've been there and I've felt hopeless. But if you want to take that power back, where you're like, oh my gosh, I can change my life can be different, then you have to start like, okay, this is the part that I played in the life that I have. I accept responsibility for that. This is what I'm grateful for. This is, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that I have this person in my life. I'm so thankful that I have food. Oh my gosh, I'm like such a big eater. So whenever we have food in the refrigerator, I'm just like, oh, it's food in the refrigerator. Like my husband knows me. Like he knows like if I'm having one of my moments, sometimes all it takes is some food. It's some good food. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm feeling so much better. And so part of your emotional health is also what are you doing with your body? Are you sitting around all day? Are you moving your body? Like we're meant to move. Like you have your body parts so you can move them. Go dance, go walking, get some fresh air. Are you staying in the house all day? Like what kind of friends do you have? If you want friends, go make some friends. Stop staying in the house. Like I was talking to some people and they were saying like it's different making friends when you are an adult. But it's like that's because that's how we start acting. That's what we think. Go to there's so many like groups and get-togethers and meetups that you can join where people that are interested in the same things that you are interested in, go meet them, say hello. Don't just sit in your house and like, oh, I want a new life, but you don't do anything to change your life. Get up and do something. You have hope. Accept responsibility for your life so you can change your life. That's the only way that it is going to change. There's not going to be like this magic genie that's, you're going to rub a lamp and all of a sudden the genie's going to be like, okay, what is your wish? What is your desire? Like, we have to accept responsibility. We don't have control over the outside stuff that happens, but we can control our attitude. We can control how we respond. Sometimes, especially if you are in the habit of just freaking out and something happens, you're in the habit of like losing your emotions and going into this whole big thing. Okay, that's all right. As long as you recognize that and step by step, you can heal. Step by step, you can get better. It's okay. You don't have to go from zero, I'm absolutely, somebody said something to me and I'm cussing everybody out, to 100, I'm like a complete angel. It's okay. You don't have to go from there. Everybody has their steps. Give yourself some grace. It's okay. It's going to be all right. But recognizing that I play a part in my life, I accept responsibility for my life. What is the life that I want? And that is a question that I always encourage people to ask themselves is what do I want? And sometimes we can think that we know what we want, but then when we ask that question out loud and we have to write down what we want, it's like, huh, do I really want this? Or do I want this because I think that's what I'm supposed to want? Or do I want this because this is what my parents told me that I should want? What is it that I really want from my life? And so there's like so many things. This is one of the reasons I absolutely love working with people on healing, because it's like you're giving people hope and you're able to transform your life. Like when you get emotionally healthy and you're taking care of the inside, then the outward success comes. Then the healthier relationships come. Then like that money that you wanted, that you've been so desperate for, that stuff comes in. Like a lot of times you have so many people. I've been one of these people. You buy courses, you get all this stuff, you invest all this money, and you're like, okay, none of this stuff is working. Why isn't any of this stuff working? And it's not the person teaching it. It's not them, okay? It's you, because you're not putting it into action, because your emotions, you're telling yourself on the inside, you're like, I don't deserve it. And sometimes we don't say it out loud, but you can tell what you believe about yourself by the actions that you take. So, it's like start loving yourself, love on yourself, take care of yourself, and then recognize that you deserve what you want. You have certain desires, and the healthier emotionally you are, then the healthier your desires. Some of the things that you may have wanted before, then those will fall away. And that's good. But you just ask, like, who am I really? Who is my true self? What do I really, really want? And it'll come to you. And sometimes for some people, I heard this story. I have lots of stories. But this lady, she got married and she used to be like, oh, wanting a baby. But then she realized, okay, I don't want a baby. I just wanted a baby because that's what I thought you were supposed to want. I'm a woman, I'm married. So my train of thought is now that I'm married, I am supposed to, get married and have a kid. And then her and her husband realized they don't want kids. And it's like, that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that is a part of emotional health and just being healed from all your stuff, all your junk, so you can have the success that you were created to have the success that you were designed to have, not the success that other people were made to have. Because my success is different from your success. But if you want to learn what your success is, then you need to call me.
Thank you. Thank you for all of that information, Ms. Dorothy. You have dropped so many golden nuggets. I just don't even know what to do with all of this information. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it myself because you're not just serving the queens watching the video, you are serving me as well. So I'm sure the group will be lit up with comments with hashtag Dorothy, hashtag Wealthy Queen 17. We're getting all of this good information and you have even answered all of the questions that I had. So if you have any promo for the queens this evening, go ahead and share them with us.
So I have something special that I am doing, and it's a retreat, one-on-one, just me and you, or you can even invite your friends along and we can get the healing going, because there is something wonderful when not only you change and you transform, but you also have your friends and they can experience that transformation. They can change their self-love, their self-care. They change their relationships. And I want to invite you to contact me. Now, you can contact me on Facebook if you want to contact me real super quick. You can also send me an email at hello, HELLO, at DorothyWhitfield.com. That's DorothyWhitfield.com, and find out how you can have your one-on-one transformational retreat with me. And trust me, it's good, because we're going to get the work done, because that's what I do. And I'm all about healing. So if you want some of this healing, you want to sit in your mess, because I don't play. Mama don't play now. Now I'm married with 4 kids. So when we getting the business done, we getting the business done. Because I'm here to get some women healed. Because I want you to live an absolutely exceptional life. Not the average life, not somebody else's life. I want you to live the life that you were created to live, the life that you were designed to live. So if you are ready, you are tired of playing games, you are tired of going on a loop, you're tired of getting on that treadmill, going nowhere, then contact me right now so we can go ahead and get this thing changed. So when you step into 2018, 19, 20, whatever, you'll be the you that you are called to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, ladies. Again, if you are trying to get in contact with Ms. Dorothy, she is on fire. She just gave us a whole lot of valuable information. She gave us plenty of actionable steps. I want you to go ahead, contact her. She said you can contact her via Facebook, or you can email her again at hello@DorothyWhitfield.com. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I definitely want to welcome you all to come back and join us live for Miss Stephanie out in a conversation on spiritual wellness. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.